Hi guys, back with another one. This is one I'm very excited about. This is the new winter steed in the shape and form of a Triban RC520. Picked this up a couple of weeks ago from Decathlon. This is the new launch they've done, I think a couple of months ago, and it's caused a fair bit of a stir. It's not specifically for road racing, it's a road stroke gravel stroke touring bike, and I've got to say to you, I am impressed. Price is spot on. It's the RC520. There's no discount available over Christmas, but for spec you're getting, it's already a steal. You'll be quite fortunate to pick one up because they've sold like hotcakes. I think on day when I went to pick it up, they'd sold 6 that morning. So I weren't faffing around. I put my money where my mouth was, and I picked up my winter steed. It's finished in quite a it's like a dark matte navy, carbon forks black on it, so there's like a matte black offset on it with handlebars, hoods. It's got the new R7000 105 group set on there, which I've got to say, aesthetically it's absolutely fantastic. Shifting spot on, no issues. Rear mechs are 105, the front mechs are 105. The only, I think, cost cutting they've done is on rear cassette. It's a micro shift cassette, and your front chain set, your cranks, are an RC510. The other bits and particulars, I've had some SKS Blumels put on for me for the winter touring, for the winter training. And what else does it come with? It's a size small frame, which I think is spot on. Geometry wise, I went on to a few fit calculators and all the rest of it, and it's spot on for me. I think I were in between. I could have gone for a slightly smaller size, the XS or the small, but coming on fit calculator and all the rest of it, this for me is spot on. The angles are right, top tube's right. You know, obviously with the road bikes, it's down to the millimeters, and this for me is absolutely spot on. It comes with hydros. They're a hybrid. It's a hybrid braking system. It's mechanically operated, but you've got hydraulics, and the shape and form of, are they TRC? Let me just double check that. It is a bit of a weird thing, but at the end of the day, at 729 quid, I think they couldn't really go all out with full hydraulics and possibly a 105 full crankset. That would have pushed the price a bit up. But again, it's a perfect platform should you want to upgrade. But I'd wear out what's on it first before you start looking at going on. There's no problems with it whatsoever. So what we got on there, the brakes are TRP hydraulic stroke RD disc brakes, mechanical pulling of hydraulic pistons, ensuring reliability and efficiency. It's got 160 rotors on front and back, which is good. Sometimes I think you get, is it a bigger one up front or a smaller disc on front compared to back? I'm all up for that come winter, with all crud and muck on roads and that's absolutely fantastic. It'll save the wheels. The only thing you've got is your rotors. 160s front and back, and you've got your anti-compression jag wiring on there, which is needed. And some people have grumbled it back. I've looked at some reviews on them hydraulic disc brakes for the TRP ones, and some were saying that they're not quite getting the braking performance. There's no issues on this whatsoever. It's a bit of a weird setup. I don't understand. I think on one of the reviews that I'd seen, somebody'd grumble about the way they'd put the disc brakes up on there. I'll give you some close-ups, or we'll do a pan around the actual bike and I will show you. But I think they've grumbled on that they're not flat mount straight onto the fork. There's a bridge in between. So, but nevertheless, you know, I think fantastic spec for the money. What else have we got? So tyres on it, yeah, fork, it's a point to mention, absolutely fantastic again. Being a road touring stroke gravel cyclocross bike stroke, yeah, a bit of light touring and all the rest of it. It's brilliant. You've got clearance on front. I think it'll take up to 40mm tyres without the mudguards. With mudguards, possibly 35, I think it'll possibly go up to. The SKS mudguards that I've got on here are 45mm, so there's plenty of clearance there. Tyres, the bike comes with 28Cs on there, but I've got enough clearance now to go for slightly wider tyres. Rims are tubeless ready, fantastic. The only thing is the tyres, they're not. So at some point, I understand, I think the GP 4000s, is it the Four Seasons, have been released in a tubeless version. So come time to change them, I think we'll be investing in some of them and getting it set up. I'm actually quite a fan of tubeless. I've got tubeless on my summer bike in the shape and form of a Giant Defy carbon job. That's got tubeless ready, came tubeless ready as well with thingies, not a single puncture. And on the one that I did have, sealed it up within seconds. In fact, within milliseconds it were done. No issues, never had a problem. I think done just short of, what's that in total? I think about 1700 miles this season. Not spectacular, but not bad either. Without, apart from that one little puncture which sealed itself up, no issues whatsoever. Just needed a little bit of an air top up. Other than that, these rims are tubeless ready. The new tyres, Decathlon put a lot of research into them. So these are the Resist Protect 700 x 28Cs. So we'll see how they fare over winter, and I will be reporting back should I have any issues with them. What else can I say? The saddle, it's got an Ergo Fit saddle on there, and I can tell you it's an absolute revelation. Usually I change out stock saddles on a bike straight away. This one will be kept. It's extremely comfortable, no issues whatsoever. I've got Look Keos on, foot pedals on. Basic ones, the easy clipping ones, they were thrown in free for me. And what else did we get in there? Managed to get a bottle cage in there thrown in, which they had lying around, a Stealth Elite bottle cage. And luckily enough, I also had another Elite Stealth bottle cage at home lying around. So that's finished it off, stroke matte blue, stroke matte black finish, which I think looks quite urban really. Was contemplating in going for the RC500, because I think that's a lot of spec. You get Sora with that, and I think it's a full Sora group set, which includes your cranks in there. So that for the money was quite a steal. I have been eyeing up some of these bikes for the last couple of months for a winter steed. Looking at Planet X's RT58, they came on offer, but unfortunately I was a little bit late in picking up a black one. Their black ones, the sizes had sold out. I needed a small or a medium, I think, in their fitting, I can't remember now, but they'd sold out. They had the blue ones in, which were a bright blue. Not a fan of that. I like the matte colours. I think they look quite stealthy, quite urban, and it can be used as one of those to commute or even down to local shops and all the rest of it. It's got cutouts, it's got your holes for your panniers. It's got obviously there for mudguards, the SKSs that I've put on. No issues. On one at sides though, I think I had to increase the clearance a little bit on hydraulic brake side. So I'll mention that for any of you lot thinking about putting the blue molds on, which should obviously come in handy. I had to find a couple of washers, which I managed to find in my toolbox. What else have we got? Yeah, so overall, quite impressed. I mean, I'm getting this review up, it's in my living room at the moment, and I've got to get this in before Mrs. blooming kicks off about it, because I've got a bed sheet on sofa at back there. God forbid flipping I get any chain, any lube on that, any grease on it. We ain't doghouse for the night. Hope she didn't hear that. Right, anyway, yeah, back to the review. Yeah. Yeah, so highly impressed. There is a bit of a weight penalty. Obviously, it's one of them sort of bikes where you can take it slightly off-road, down dirt track. Do a little bit of a light gravel riding. So yeah, there is a bit of a weight penalty, but end of the day, that's what winter's about, isn't it? It's trying to bring your mileage back in a little bit instead of doing the big ones, the centuries and that, and getting a bit more workout, getting a bit of strength built into your legs over a shorter distance. So I will be reporting, but I've had no issues with it at the moment. Mudguards are on, clearance is good, braking's fantastic. We'll report back on them hybrid disc brakes and hydraulics and see if there's any issues with them. I did have a word with one at staff there. In fact, two at staff there. One in particular at the Sheffield store, Luke, absolute star, looked after me right from the beginning all the way through. Couldn't have done enough, to be honest with you. He had me out on turbo trainer. I'd had me guniometer with me. He was impressed with that. Yep, getting all my angles right, getting my seat saddle set up right, as much as we could do in store. And then I got a chance to speak to Mick, who were there on launch of this Triban. Mick were there when they did the massive launch, and I think they've got him up on YouTube or on pamphlets and pictures up in Scottish Highlands. That's where they tested the bike, and I think they were fortunate enough to be given one of these bikes free. So he says to me, he says, it's a fantastic bike. He says, either which way, everywhere you go, either it's an RC 500 or the 520, you can't go wrong. RC 500's at, is it 529? This one's up at 729, and I thought it were worthwhile going for the new 105 on there. It's decent. I'm impressed with it. I love the colour scheme. It's got a hint of orange in there, which I can possibly offset. Don't want to go too crazy with the orange, but yeah, we'll have a look at that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you around the bike a little bit, and then if any of you guys have got any questions, or if you're on fence, you know, whether you want to commit to buy it or not, you know, I wholeheartedly recommend it. But yeah, you're more than welcome to hit me up in the comments and ask me any questions, any concerns, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you on that. So I'm just going to pause it for the time being, and then we'll get round and have a look at what's on the bike. Cheers. So we've got a 105 rear mech, and I think this one sort of trickles down, or is a denomination of some of the mountain biking rear mechs that they've had. It's a Shimano 105 stroke Shadow, I think this, or something along them lines. I stand to be corrected, but somebody can possibly hit me up and enlighten me further. Cassette is obviously where they've cut back on it as well. It's a micro shift, but micro shift getting quite competitive at the moment. I think for the value you're getting some, you know, it's quite competitive at the bottom end. So I'll report back on it and let you know if there's any issues with the micro shift cassette on back. It's an 1132 on back. Moving on, you've got your RC 510 crank. It's durable enough. I've seen bikes worth a lot more, over £1,000 that have come in with RC 510 crank sets. Obviously they've got to cut back somewhere. End of the day, I think over a 105 there's not much difference. It's a compact, I think. I'll just check that. Yeah, so it's a compact chain set up front. We've got a 5032, is it? Double check. 5034, sorry, my bad. 5034 compact. You've got a 105 shifter at front mech. What else is there? What can I show there? So it's working up to shifters, hoods. You'll have to excuse the bed sheet on sofa, just so that you can get a rough idea of colour scheme of what the bike, obviously a good contrast. Let's have a look. Yeah. So, quite impressed really. A lot of spec for the money. So I've got my Cat Eye Volt 800 on there. There's plenty enough lumens there to light up the road and anything else. I've got my Wahoo mount. Sensors are on hubs. I don't know if you can pick that up. And the grip is decent. Fair bit of cushioning in that. Usually, sometimes you've got to change them out and get the one of choice on, but that for me will be staying on. Over the top you've got your RC Triban 520 branding on it, and that's the Ergo Fit System saddle. Absolutely love it. Will not be getting changed and will be getting used. Oh yeah, can't forget my light. That's my cheap and cheerful LED stroke laser Amazon job light. Puts out laser markings on road, lets the vehicles know keep your distance. I will put it on and show you. Get quite excited about that really. Yeah, it's like Blackpool illuminations. I'm all up for that. So you've got a bit of your orange highlight on there. It is a two-tone. Don't know if you'll be able to pick that up. And if you look there, so you've got a darker shade of blue, matte blue, orange, which is lovely. to offset on some clothing if need be. And your lighter blue. My matte finish Blumels, quite hard to get hold of online really. We're fortunate enough one at local bike stores here had a set, so I pounced on them straight away when I rang them up. They says we've got some, we'll fit them for you as well. So I thought, yeah, you can take the labour out of, you can take the hard work out for me. Yeah, I hate cutting them stays down, the guard stays, they're a bugger to get right sometimes. But for those at bike shop, I'm sure they do it enough. So yeah, it was all done in about 45 minutes for me. So bless them. And that's a shout out to Bike Shed in Huddersfield. What else? Right. So what I'm going to do is just spin it around and show you other side. And I hope the colour scheme comes up right. And I've got some lighting on. Obviously, it was just so that I could get the contrast there for you. So I'm going to pause it, switch it around. I'll be back. Right. So to give you a different angle on it, I'm throwing the bike round. Let's have a look on this side. Let's have a look at the hydraulics. Hybrids, stroke hydraulic, mechanical, stroke, whatever you want to call it. Right, okay, let's have a look. TRP, you've got your oil bath in there. Some have complained that it's not quite easy accessible. I don't think there's an issue. I think the way they've mounted it, it's fine, it'll do. Quick release. Your wheels, Resist Protect Plus 700 times 28 Cs. What else have we got? My Stealth water bottles, the Elite, they look nice, highly recommended. Let's go on further to the front. Now this is where I had a bit of an issue. Bike shop put them on, your Blumels, and if you guys get them put on by a bike shop, get my words right, just make sure that you've got enough clearance there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's washers on the back of that, back of this this part here, and I've put a washer on there as well, obviously just to protect the plastic when you're tightening them. They hadn't put washers at back, they'd put it right across, and then what that does is it puts a fair bit of strain on your stay there. So I didn't want it to cause any issues. So I have added a couple more extra washers on the back of there. Bolts just about long enough to tighten, so if you have issues, if it could have done with a longer bolt, to be honest with you, but I've managed to get it right. Clearance is right, they're still centered, the SKS Blumels, they're still centered on the tyre, so I've had no issues there. So overall, I'm quite happy with it, to be honest with you. And if you guys are looking out for a bike, get you through the winter months, and hopefully, yeah, this one's here to stay. That's your carbon fork. You can see carbon detailing on there. You've also got eyelets there for a front pannier rack. I think they rate it up at maximum load of 9 kilograms. So that's fantastic. You know, unheard of. It's fully spec'd out, I think, for price. It's brilliant. And also on your back, eyelets there for your pannier, for your pans, and yeah. So I'll do a bit of light touring. And a lot of money. You get a lot of bike for your money. Point of diminishing returns, you know, I'm all up for that. Mr. Frugal. Oh, and before I forget, I've got my side mirror there. I can't do without that. Saves me at my age having to turn my neck around and pulling a muscle or trapping a nerve. It does me fine. Cockpit. Let's have a gander. You've got what we got on Cockpit there. We've got, it's 400mm centre to centre, so centre of your bars there to there, they're 400. Stem, we're looking at a 90 stem. I'm just going to double check that. Where's my tape measure? Right, I think I found a discrepancy on website, on Decathlon's website, and what I've got here. That stem is an 80. So I think they've got it up at a 90 on a size small and an extra small, but that's an 80mm stem, which puts it at the perfect reach for me. And obviously I want a slightly more relaxed geometry over winter as well. I don't want to be aggressive in me, you know. So yeah, it's fine for me. Is that 80mm stem, 400mm width, handlebars, touch point obviously ergo fit saddle, which I've mentioned before, and I've got my look basic pedals on there, which will be getting changed, possibly to the is it the classic 3s? They'll do me fine. Sensor there on crank arm, my Wahoo cadence sensor, and speed sensor is on there on the hub. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So we've got the sensor all sorted. What I have done is, since I've had it, I've put on a couple of rubbing strips just behind that there. Same on other side. That'll hopefully save some of the framework. Right, so almost forgot. I've got my tool bottle there. That was bought from them, cheap and cheerful. £3 I think it were in store. And yeah, it fits everything in. It's got my tube. It's got my multi-tool in there. What else has it got? Levers. The rest of the essentials that are needed. So that fits in fine. One water bottle over winter. You don't want to be drinking too much. You'll be constantly stopping for a number one, sorry, or a number 2. So as promised, yeah, here's my Blackpool illuminations. You see that laser light there? Works wonders. Fantastic. Also, you can have it flashing as well while it projects the laser light out. I'm all about visibility, you should know that by now. Right, that's it. I don't know if I can turn it off now. There you go. Off, please. There we go. Right, a couple of points that I want to mention as well, which again, I'm all up for it. I'm impressed. Bottom brackets are threaded on it. It's not a press fit, so it's a threaded bottom bracket. That's a plus point. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the wheels as well. Wheels are, where are we? Yeah, so the tubeless already, like I mentioned before, but rim width is not the rim width, the actual drop on it. The height is a 24mm, so that increases rigidity. Steel spokes for greater rigidity, 28 on front, 28 on back. It's a sealed cartridge bearing. They are a bit weighty though, so for those of you, definitely the weight patrol, or the kilos or the pound patrol, these weigh a little bit. It's obviously for durability purposes. Obviously, if it's doing a bit of touring and it's going to carry a bit of weight. What are we on there? Let's have a look. Right, yeah, so the weight is 2,000 grams. So there's a couple of kilos there. They're not, obviously they have got tubeless strips in there, but you'll still need the valves and the tyres. So yeah, wheels are alright. It's supposed to be a slightly lighter set than the RC 500. So those of you considering the 500, bear that in mind. The frame composition, it's an alloy 6061 T6 aluminium frame. Comfort orientated geometry with an adaptive slope is what they've put up in the spec. Weight is 1,780 grams, and that's in a size medium. That's a size small, so it'll probably be slightly less. So as again, can be fitted with mudguards and a pannier rack. Compatible with tyres, I think, with the mudguards up to 36mm, is it? Alright, I was under the understanding that it might be 40mm, so if anybody's got a Triban and have tried a wider set on, give us a shout. I think some of this has changed because, like I stated earlier, my stem on this size was an 80mm on here, but online it's showing that it's a 90mm stem, so there's definitely some discrepancy there. From what I was told in store, I think they were saying you can get clearance up to 40mm on it. The fork is quite wide. In fact, we'll have a look at the fork now. Yeah, so we're just going to check the fork and see clearance on it. So roughly thereabouts. I'm just getting my little boy there to hold tape measure. The SKS mudguards that I've got on here are 45mm, I think they are. But without them, I think you're good to go for about 40mm, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's plenty of room, quite wide. Yeah, so quite versatile really. Impressed. Right, can move that away, young man. So hit me up if you guys are deciding any of the RC 520 or 720 owners out there putting on wider tyres, let us know. But I think they'll be good for 40s then. Right guys, just going to mention a little bit more about the geometry on bike. Size small, so just want to mention the stack height for those of you who are interested. Stack's 542 on this, which is, it's lower than my Giant Defy. Not by a lot, not by a long shot, I think about 4mm. So yeah, slightly lower. It's got a longer wheelbase though, so it's aimed at comfort. What we're on, it says 1012mm on your wheelbase. Reach, one of the important measurements, 380. So I've got 542 on stack and 380 on reach, and I'm just going to give you measurements now for the effective top tube. So, which I thought it was about 52.5, which it's 53. So I'm just going to double check that and give you a couple of them measurements. So guys, I'm just going to give you a measurement on size small frame. Seat tube is, where are we? Yeah, it's bang on 48, as they've printed. 48 on seat tube. The effective top tube, which is a bit difficult to measure without a spirit level. Centre. So I'm going to go down the angle a little bit there. So what they're saying is it's 53. So I've got 52 there, level it up, it probably is right, you're at 53. So that there for me on the bike fit calculator is spot on. So I hope that helps guys, a little bit there about your stack and your reach and your angles. So yeah, job's a good one. One at points also to mention, another one. If you do purchase the bike, make sure you get your free set of lights with it. They do come with bike, I haven't got them on at the moment, they're in the other room. They are battery operated, so it's not the reflectors that I'm talking about. You do get a front light and a rear light, so which again at the price, it's a great addition. I mean, manufacturers don't usually put that in, but yeah, fantastic. A lot of value for your money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any questions, please hit me up in the comment section down below. As usual, like, subscribe and share, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. All the best. God bless.